Hello, and welcome to Animal Chiropractic Clinic Chatter, a podcast where Dr. O from All Creatures Every Spine interviews doctors and animal owners that utilize animal chiropractic to get their unique perspectives. Yes, it's really a thing. Dr. O utilizes his 30 years of experience as both an animal chiropractor and veterinarian, and to dig deep into the discussion of complex issues affecting the lives of your animal friends and companions. Join us for this educational episode. Thanks for joining us for this portion of the episode as Dr. O begins to answer the question, what is animal chiropractic? He will look at how the chiropractic adjustment is a valuable and viable treatment for what ails your animals.
Animal chiropractic is the most amazing tool there is. It's better than any graphic design tool. It's better than any tool in the workshop. It is the most amazing tool that any animal can have used on them. It improves the immune system by 400%. So it helps with vaccination. It helps with bacterial infections, viruses. It just helps the animal feel better and do better. It changes every background activity that's going on in the back of your animal's brain, which includes, things like heartbeat, digestion, respiration, all of those exciting things that are going to happen. That's what happens in a well-adjusted animal. It's not just about movement and musculoskeletal problems. Yeah, it helps with that, but those are handles to the nervous system. Those are symptoms that says, hey, something's going on with your animal. 99% of your animal's nervous system is not worried about pain. All right. 99% of your animal's nervous system is about feedback. It's about staying healthy. It's about protecting itself. It's about evolutionary things like finding food, preventing us from being food. All those important things that happen every day in the background work better when your animal is chiropractically adjusted. That's what animal chiropractic is about. Have a great day.
Make sure to visit our website, allcreatureseveryspine.com, where you can subscribe to the show and learn more about getting your animals adjusted. If you are in the Meridian, Texas area, drop in on a Tuesday afternoon to get your animals adjusted. If that isn't possible, schedule a consultation on your animal's health with Dr. O. You can also purchase a copy of Dr. O's book. Yes, it's really a thing.
Hello everyone, and welcome to barfworld.com. If you're seeing this video, it typically means you're interested in trying our 90-day challenge. If your pet is suffering from allergies, kidney issues, obesity, diabetes, or even cancer, our food can help with that. So if you're ready to see your pet's health dramatically improve in just 90 days, call us and schedule your consultation today. Hope to talk to you guys soon.
What is going on, everyone? My name is Stan Smith. I'm the CEO of X-Dog and the inventor of the X-Dog Weight and Fitness Vest. What is the X-Dog Weight and Fitness Vest? In a nutshell, it is the world's greatest harness for dogs. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're looking to build muscle, combat obesity, address anxiety issues, high energy, you want to suppress that energy level. If you just want to take the average walk and turning into a health improving workout, we made it so convenient to exercise your dog that you literally only need about 30 seconds a day. It doesn't matter if you're doing basic obedience training or compete at high level dog sports or in protection sports. The X-Dog Weight and Fitness Vest can enhance it and take any type of daily lifestyle to the next level. If you want to be part of our mission of eliminating canine obesity or just being a part of our team, make sure you go to teamxdog.com. As always, man, I want to thank you for your time and your support, and Team X-Dog strong.
Heroes come in all shapes and sizes. For me, my hero is Frank, my best friend. But even the greatest heroes need help sometimes. Frank and I were at the park the other day when he started limping and favoring his left leg. I didn't see what happened, but I could tell something was wrong. So we went to see Frank's favorite vet, Yvette. Yvette the vet. After running some tests, she determined that Frank had torn his ACL. His best option was surgery. But unfortunately for me, surgery wasn't an option. So what could I possibly do to be a hero to my hurting hero? That was when Yvette told us about hero braces. She took a quick cast of his leg and said this mold would be used to create a biomechanically designed stifle brace, custom made just for Frank, allowing his body's natural healing processes to take over and stabilize the knee. About 2 weeks later, she fitted the brace and gave us the green light to walk, hike, and snuggle, and do all the activities that Frank and I were used to doing. It was that simple. Hero braces are lightweight, don't stretch or tear, and are durably designed to last the life of your dog. So Frank can get back to being Frank. Like I said, heroes come in all shapes and sizes. And lucky for us, so do hero braces.
Join us as Dr. O interviews a certified chiropractor, veterinarian, or an animal owner. These enthusiastic people explain how they utilize animal chiropractic to alter the lives of the animals in their communities.
Hey, welcome everybody to another episode of Animal Chiropractic Clinic Chatter. I'm your host, Dr. O. We have today Dr. Joe, the Spine Geek.
That's right.
Tell us about you.
A little bit about me. I've been in practice since 1991. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been married for since 1989. I love chiropractic. Through the years, chiropractic has taken me around the world. It's given me 4 amazing children, 2 of which are in the chiropractic field. One's just graduated, getting ready to start practicing, and one's getting ready to get halfway through chiropractic school. But, I've been in the same location in Denver, Colorado since 1992. I've been able to take care of athletes at 2 world championships, 2 Olympics, Major League Soccer championships back in 2010. I've been to Zimbabwe twice, helping them open up a natural chiropractic center to help with the AIDS crisis. And so, my door simply says the healthiest families in the world come here. And so for me, that's what chiropractic is. And we have fun and we have a good time doing it. So yeah, it's fun to be here. Thanks for having me.
It is. And one of the questions that you asked me when I invited you is like, I don't do animals. And I'm like, that's okay, Doc, because, I was listening to your resume, and I have world champions. I have, Olympic champions. I have world champions in multiple sports, in no soccer, but multiple sports, like barrel racing, shits and dogs, agility dogs, dock diving dogs,
Right.
But these are all world-class athletes. And like, world-class athletes need a specific chiropractic adjustment.
Yeah. And when you ask about animals, so I would not say I have a animal practice, but I have a Bernese Mountain Dog that was very expensive when my wife got it. And I want that dog to live as healthy and strong as possible. So what I apply to my children and myself and my family, I apply. The principles are the same, actually. And that's what I really love about what you do with your organization is, healthy and holistic care is for everyone. And so, we have a few animals that I'll adjust and take care of, but it's all about also, it's the essentials we teach to have really a healthy life, because the brain makes the rules. And so as far as a specific chiropractic adjustment, man, the more specific and let that brain do its job, then watch out, things can happen.
Yeah. And that, the new book that's coming out probably this summer, the first book was, yes, it's really a thing. Animal chiropractic does exist. The new book is, it's a better thing.
a chiropractic lifestyle for your dogs.
Yeah.
Exercise, proper food,
Mm-hmm.
and chiropractic adjustment.
Yep. I mean, that's what we teach, so my brand, if you would, of chiropractic is called Maxility, to where there's 5 essentials, which they follow the laws of nature as far as what we do is good for everybody, whether it's humans, whether it's animals, whether it's the planet, that the environment matters. And that, that epigenetics is basically the input to that brain and the output. And so if the animal is in a stressful situation, that animal is not going to perform or behave at its best. If that animal's spine has subluxation and interference, then that animal is not going to be able to be at their best. If their food is not life-giving and it's full of pesticides and genetically modified stuff, and then that animal is not going to be the best version of themselves. And if they're being pumped full of toxins and chemicals, then that brain's not going to like it. And then, like you said, the animal has to move. The human has to move. The world has to move. It's all connected as far as having a holistic lifestyle. And it does matter. It does matter.
So this morning, I got 50 new peeps in.
Okay.
To my practice. When you say you got new peeps, your peeps,
Yeah.
right? It's totally different than when I say I adjusted 50 new peeps today.
Right.
We got 50 new day-old chicks in.
Wow.
And they started life with a chiropractic adjustment.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
And people are like, why do you adjust chickens? Well, they're going to be my food.
Yes.
And I want my food because I know I am what I eat.
Exactly.
So I'm going to adjust my chickens so that they're as healthy and stress-free as possible.
Totally.
We've done double-blind scientific studies that prove that chiropractic adjusted chickens are more vigorous, gain weight faster, and live healthier lives than their non-adjusted counterparts in the same pen.
Yeah. And the thing, and again, I don't think there really should be any compartmentalization as far as, well, we treat animals this way and we treat humans this way. Again, I think it's all, it's all holistic. It's like one of my first slides in a doctor's report in my office is, how many visits is it going to take to fix you? I'm like, well, when did you start getting adjusted? If it's not the first week of life, then why not? I'm sorry that no one taught you that way. We know as humans, we should brush our teeth right away. There's things we should do. So if you want to maximize the health of your animal, of your chicken, of your food, you want to make sure that produces health and healing to yourself. So why would you not adjust them right away to keep them healthy and strong and raise them healthy and strong? Totally agree with you. Totally agree.
Yes, it's when's the best time to plant a tree?
Right, 20 years ago.
When's the second best day to plant a tree?
Today.
Hey, when's the best time to get your dog adjusted?
That's right. When
he was
born.
born.
Exactly.
Second best time. Today.
Exactly.
Don't delay,
Don't delay. No.
And the other thing on the chickens is that we know that 74% of consumers prefer a chiropractically adjusted chicken.
Yeah.
Well, think about that. Well, they're going to be more flavorful. They have less stress hormone in them.
You'll be stronger.
They're stronger. Yep. They get to a market weight faster, so they're not going to be older and tough. And so it's like, wow, it makes so much sense. And we eat. If you eat meat that's totally full of stress hormones,
right?
Most of us do. If you go buy it from the grocery store, how much stress hormones are in that? And we don't even know what they ate.
Well, and it's a whole. I mean, I get it. I mean, when you're going through McDonald's or whatever, and you're buying fast food, you have no energy, you have no connection, you have no. And again, if it's all about energy and frequency and vibration, then you're getting a negative frequency. You're getting a disease-causing frequency and vibration and energy. You're not getting a holistic, healthy one. And so these chickens that you're raising up, they're vibrating, they're energetic, they're full of life. And when it comes time to be harvested and fulfill their purpose and end up on our dinner plates, we want the happiest, healthiest, strongest, in alignment, vibrating at their full potential, so that they can continue to give life. Therefore, their life had a meaning, had a purpose, had an attention to it, not just, it's just a product, for man to profit off of. So no, totally congruent with what you're saying.
And people always ask me about dog food, and they're like, well, can I feed eggs to my dog? Where do the eggs come from? And they're like, what do you mean? What difference does it make?
Yeah.
We know that farm raised eggs, like our eggs here, have a 2 omega-6s per 1 omega-3. So that's pretty good omega-6, omega-3 profile.
Right.
We also know that eggs that are bought in the store, that are raised in a cage, have a 20-to-1.
Yeah. And that would have a direct disease causing effect. So, my practice, when you walk in and ask my patients, they know the difference between green grass and brown grass, and if you kink the hose, the grass seed goes to brown grass, because that's the operating system. That's the programming. And so when you eat anything that has a 20-to-1 fatty acid ratio, that your brain's going to take that and it's going to have a negative impact on your health. It's going to cause inflammation. It's going to cause all kinds of hormonal issues, things like that, because you are what you eat. And the input demands the output. So when you eat that egg that's 2-to-1, I think that's what you said, 2-to-1, then that's going to have a positive input on the brain. And that output is going to cause health and abundance. So yeah, so it definitely does matter. Everything matters. It's either a green grass choice or a brown grass choice. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about, analogies all the time, and how, chiropractic, we don't have to believe in chiropractic. It works. It restores nervous system interference. And sometimes when people are first hit with the paradigm change, they get upset. And I'm sure when you talk about how people come to your practice and when people come to my practice, not everybody can stay.
No. Again, everybody's been brainwashed. They've been lied to. The way they treat themselves, the way they treat their animals. I mean, just look at the commercials on TV. It's big business. It's profit over people. It's profit over animals. And so they have to understand. And that's why I use the brown grass, green grass, dead grass analogy, because if I say it any way, I'm being mean, I'm being I'm being offensive. But we have to understand that much of life starts unseen, whether it's the quantum physics world, whether it's at conception, when that animal is pregnant, or when when the mommy's pregnant. There's a lot of unseen forces and healing and process and intelligence that's going on. And then once the baby's born, or the animal comes, is birthed, then now we're seen. But you couldn't get to that seen part of the world until you went through the unseen part. And then when we die, we go back to an unseen part. But Western medicine, and I'm sure it's not any different when it comes to treatment of animals, we have a way of that's profit over people, profit over the planet, profit over animals, and they're just commodities. And the thing is that when they, first of all, and actually it is changing to a certain point, because they're like, I've been looking for this way of life. I just couldn't find it. I was looking for a way to raise my pet the best way, because they're tired of being told it's your age, or it's bad genes or bad luck that's causing your health. They're not buying that anymore, but they don't know where else to go. And so when they walk into your place or my place, we have to take them through a process to begin to re-educate them without freaking them out. But then once they see the results, the exam findings, it's like, okay, are you green? I ask them, are you green grass or brown grass? I'm brown. They go, I'm dead grass. Well, do you want to begin that journey of going back to health? Because the nice thing is that we're fearfully and wonderfully made. That your pet or your animal, your chicks, our human, we can regenerate. I mean, there's so many people out there that are taking cows that were raised from McDonald's and then regenerating them in a matter of months to now they're grass-fed, grass-finished, and their whole body changes. So you're not stuck being where you are, no matter where you are, pets or humans or livestock.
Correct. I mean, and I had a lady come in yesterday, and she brought all her records with her. That's always kind of scary, because if I don't look at them, you're rude.
Then you're a schmuck. Yeah, I know. I get it. I get it. Yeah.
And if you look at him, you have to go, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. This is what didn't work. Okay.
Right.
We have a record of that. Yes.
She had a dachshund that was paralyzed, and she spent over $6,000 on it 6 months ago. It's kind of walking, but not really. Got some issues. And it's on a kibble food that was prescribed, by the doctor to help get healthy. And it just got vaccinated yesterday.
Yeah. 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 So what'd you call it? A killer food?
A kibble.
Kibble food. Okay, kibble food.
But it is killer. Kibble killer, yes.
We call it Franken food.
Yes.
It's just not because when you give that to the brain, so this poor dog, A, has physical stress on its nerve system, B, just got a toxic dump of crap to the dachshund's brain, right? And so and it's being fed input again. The brain's giving everything to where there's nothing wrong with the dachshund. The dachshund's performing exactly based on the lifestyle that you've given that dog. And so, and they want you to fix it. Yeah.
In one visit.
Yeah. In one visit. Yeah. For free.
So, so we explained it. I gave her a bunch of reading material, and I hope she comes back, but, I showed her a leg length check.
Right.
This little dachshund's legs are, 2 inches long, right?
Right.
And when we first looked at them, they're an inch difference.
Wow.
And she flexed the head one way, just like we do with humans. So she laterally flexed and they got even. And she laterally flexed the other way and they got worse. Unilateral atlas subluxation. I mean, it's universal.
Yeah.
And so I adjusted it and showed her the leg length again. And I said, that's all we're going to do today. She says, you're not going to do anything to the butt. And I said, well, there's nothing going on in the butt. Look, they're even. They're the same length. Everything's fine. And she was like, so that could have been the problem the whole time he was paralyzed? Well, I never got to check him before he had his surgery.
Right.
But yes.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And it's that, I mean, that leg check is basically telling us the brain's in stress. It's not happy. Good luck trying to get that body to perform any other way until you remove that interference with that specific adjustment. And you did that, and you did more for that dog to save its life. Now you probably need to adjust the owner. That's the thing. It's not the children that have the issue. It's the parents. It's not the dogs. It's not the animals that have the issue. They never talk back. They're always thank you. They love you. They want to lick you, and they're happy with it, right? It's the owners we have to convince to bring them back so we can keep this dog functioning at their full potential. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And how long is it going to last? Well, I don't know. How long has it been going on? Because in a dog, in me, if I see that, if I measure my arms and my right arm, my dominant arm is bigger than my left arm, my non-dominant arm, that would be probably acceptable. Not good, but acceptable, right? In a dog, both legs, whether they're front legs or back legs, should be bilaterally symmetrical, because when a dog walks or a horse walks, it takes every muscle, every ligament, every tendon, every joint, and every bone in their body to take one step.
Yep.
And so if they're asymmetrical, we know it's not lack of use or more use. Like with me, I use my right arm all day long, my left arm not very much. That's why they're asymmetrical. Dog can't do that. So there's only one reason for asymmetry in a dog. Lack of innervation.
Yep. And
And this lady came in yesterday and her dog hadn't been able to use its leg for 3 days. And it was 1.5 inches smaller than the other one. It's not because of an injury. It's not because of I heard it and quit using it all of a sudden. It's because a lack of innervation that's been going on for probably a week or more.
Yeah.
She just didn't notice it.
And the thing is too, there's just a lot of misinformation out there when it comes to taking care of something. We all know as soon as we get a car, we maybe check the dipstick, we keep it washed, we take care of it, and we take good care of it. But and again, we only get one spine, right? We don't get we should start taking care of that right away. And so as far as same thing with our pets, same thing with our children is it's not like, okay, I'm not done with this one adjustment. I don't know, stress. I mean, thank God the dog's not on Facebook or watching YouTube or Instagramming like that. That just stresses more people out more than anything. But, bring it back in a week or two and let's recheck it and see. We want to make sure that dog has the best life experience possible. And all I know is if I see that dog once a week or twice a month, then it's back to normal. And then basically on whatever care plan is to be, is you just like you bring this dog to me just because it's good for them. We have a banner that says SpineGeek Chiropractic, always good for you. And so, you know what, I'm adjusting my dog. Heck yeah, that dog cost me a lot of money. They say, well, these Bernese Mountain Dogs are genetically prone to cancer around year 5 or 6. And I said, heck no, not that. I'm gonna break the record for this dog. And it's funny because I said, well, how do we prevent that? She says, well, make sure you feed him right and don't vaccinate. I'm like, well, guess what? That's the same thing for humans. It's all kinds of things. So, the dog gets played with, but I check her and she's good, and she's not doesn't fall too far from the tree. So she takes on my wife's temperament and personality sometimes. But yeah, I mean, we take the same approach. I mean, we had a blue healer for 14 years. She just went to heaven, but it literally, she never really declined as far as going up and down the stairs. She just started developing some dementia. And I said, this quality of life is not going well. So we finally, had her put to heaven. And but that dog was strong its entire life. It didn't have a bad day. So it was like, and that's what we did. I just didn't want to see her suffer anymore. But 14 years for a blue healer, I guess, is pretty good. A holistic lifestyle. So it's good. So you're right. You're doing good stuff, Doc.
It is good. I mean, and we just got a new. We have a Bernedoodle.
Oh no.
And this is one of the problems with veterinary medicine and animal chiropractic. So this lady brings a 6-week-old puppy in. So imagine a 4-week-old baby comes in, and hey doc, the baby's not really latching very well, doesn't play with his sibling very well. There's a twin. They don't play very well. He's about half the size of the other one. And I don't know. Somebody said maybe you could help.
Yeah.
So you're going to be like, I mean, you're at goosebumps, right?
Yeah.
You know you're going to change this dog's life.
Yeah.
Or this little baby's life, right?
Yeah. The patient.
Out in your mind.
No.
So I adjusted it. Atlas only. We pretty much do just a lot of very specific Atlas adjustments in our practice. But anyway, Atlas only, put the puppy down, started running around the exam room, peed. She's all upset. I said, oh, don't worry. Not the first one to pee in here. Threw a towel on there on the pee. Puppy's running around. Puppy finds the towel and starts playing tug with this towel that was laying on the ground. The owner's like, oh my gosh, laughing and this is fantastic. She calls me 48 hours later and says, guess what? Puppy's not doing good again. All right, bring it back.
Right.
The first adjustment lasted 48 hours.
Right.
We have a baseline. So we adjusted it again. Same scenario, boom. Playing, running around, having a good time. So about 4 days later, I get a phone call again. Come on in. Let's get him adjusted again. So the first one lasted 48 hours. The second one lasted twice that long. The puppy is healing.
Yes.
No doubt. So she comes in and she says, well, we went to the vet to get our first set of shots. And I cringe. I said, all right. And she said, the vet told us that this puppy's brain is too big for his skull. And I'm like, okay. And we did an x-ray. We did an MRI. How did we determine this? Oh, just based on his symptoms.
Based on how he felt. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, symptoms.
And I'm like, okay, well, first off, in order for somebody to say something like that, they have to be willing to agree that innate
Yeah.
screwed up.
Exactly.
Okay. And I don't think that innate would ever make a brain too big for a skull.
Nope. Nope. Or a baby too big for the belly. Yep. Nope.
Right. Yep. And so that happened. And so she said, if this doesn't work, we're going to have this puppy euthanized.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, explain work.
Yeah.
You know, you brought me a puppy that couldn't move, adjusted, moved great. Boom, boom, boom. She said, well, this is the last time we're going to get it adjusted. I said, well, here's $1.
Yeah.
And the puppy's mine.
Yeah.
And she said, what? I said, well, I'm just going to buy your puppy for $1 and save you some money from euthanizing it in a week.
Yeah.
And she looked at me and she said, okay, I guess. So we have a Bernedoodle puppy now.
You rescued one.
That's three, almost 6 months old, but for 3 months. So now he can walk almost a quarter mile in a straight line and then turn around and walk back to the house. Now, do we still have some issues? Yes. But you ought to see him playing with the other dogs that nobody is even half her size, or she's not even half anybody's sizes. So she plays with all the big dogs.
Right.
And there's no way she's not getting subluxated.
Right.
Life, thoughts, trauma, toxins in that big one.
That, you know, and that's just the beauty of the gift of the philosophy of how we approach things. I mean, again, I've been doing this for over 30 something years now, and it just keeps getting better as the world keeps getting crazier. You know, we're the truth. We're the answers. You know, that you're right. That innate intelligence just simply means that doggy has its brain has already been programmed and has the operating system it needs to sustain a really good life on this planet. And it needs no help, just no interference. And like you mentioned, where does that interference come from? From toxins, the vaccine, trauma, whatever the birth process and falls, you know, or maybe they had a child that wasn't being very nice to this doggy as far as picking it up and dropping it, right? Or an environment where, you know, dogs pick up on stuff. You know, horses, I guess you got the leadership posture. Horses pick up on attitudes and emotions and things like that.
You bet.
And so now you've rescued that dog so that it can have the best life possible. And yet, are toxins that toxic? Absolutely they are. To that dog, they were, because every brain makes the rules. Every brain decides. So, you know, why does one dog get a vaccine and seems to be okay? The other dog gets one and has symptoms. Is because the brain makes the rules. There's obviously more stress going on in that puppy's life. So what you're doing, you've just rescued and saved that dog's life. So good for you. That's good. And that's how it should be for every dog, for every pet, every chicken, everything. Yep.
Chicken, cow, you know.
Chicken, cow. And any God's creations, right? Anything that God's created, you know, has an innate intelligence. And it needs to live in a way that's interference free. And we need to learn as humans of how to be better stewards of the planet and of our animals, whether they're pets, whether they're for food. The better we steward that process by using the innate intelligence and the principles applied, you know, the better everything's going to be. Food chain, society, happy homes, everything.
You bet. Yeah. So yesterday I had the opportunity to work on Thomas again.
Okay.
Thomas is a big rabbit. That was supposed to be a meat rabbit, but now he's a breeding rabbit.
Oh, there you go. That's a power of chiropractic.
And the reason he's a breeding rabbit is because he won Best of Show at the Houston Livestock Show after getting adjusted for several times. And we in our practice believe in youth, and we think they have to understand the paradigm of chiropractic.
Yes.
And so what we do with our 4-H and youth people is they get to pay for 1.5 visits on their first visit. And then the rest of the year, that animal's chiropractic adjustments are free. But I will only talk to the owner who is the 4-H or ag person, the youth that's involved with that. I won't talk to mom, dad, grandma, any of those people. I only talk to the youth. And the other day I'm rechecking Thomas, and Thomas is owner came in with his grandma who has a splint on her arm. And I said, what happened? And she said, oh, I stumbled and da-da-da. Okay, so we're working on Thomas, and I'm talking to the little boy about Thomas. I think he's in 8th grade. So I'm talking to him about Thomas and boom, 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 and how Thomas is not going to be a breeding rabbit. And yep, do. And told him some things to watch out for. And he goes, Grandma, you need to go to the chiropractor so you don't fall again. And I was like, yes, that's a home run.
There you go. Yeah.
So, and that's why we do it.
Yeah.
How do people get a hold of you to get themselves adjusted or their kids adjusted if they're out in Denver?
It's simple. And actually, no matter what, I mean, we have people come to us from all over the world, Zimbabwe, Africa, all kinds of places. And so basically you go to SpineGeek.com and you can check us out there. You can make an appointment. We do things called a spine immersion. Well, someone will come to Denver for a week and we'll just see them every day and teach them the 5 essentials and get their spine going, get their healing, and teach them basically what we just talked about, teaching them a new way of life. Because thankful to the internet, all our videos, our education videos, again, how we apply stuff, home exercises, workouts, nutrition plans, affirmations, all that except me laying my hands on you, we can get digitally now. So basically, you just go to SpineGeek.com and message us, Google SpineGeek. You'll find us on YouTube. You'll see our Facebook page, Instagram, and you can just message me, and then we can get connected that way. We also have, my wife and I, we're about 35 shows in now. We have, it's called the SpineGeek Podcast on Spotify and stuff. And we just walk through basically what you do for your animals. We talk about what we've done for our kids. And literally you'll see, I mean, and what we talk about, you can apply the same way, but it's the lifestyle that we live on raising. You know, we say how to raise a 2 + 2 = 4 family in a world that wants you to think 2 + 2 = 5. Again, when a veterinarian says, oh yeah, the doggy's brain's too big for the skull, that is the most stupidest thing. It's like, did you really go to school? I mean, and yet people buy it. I go, oh, I guess so. I guess we'll go ahead and put this dog down because what almighty doctor said. And it just makes me crazy. I just want to just call up those. I usually do sometimes call up the veterinarians or call up the pediatricians. Go, are you kidding me? Are you really kidding me? So if anybody just likes what they're hearing, then SpineGeek.com is really the easiest way to go. SpineGeek.com, SpineGeek Podcast. It's a simple word, and that's just what we do. So they can get a hold of us that way. Yep.
So we talk tech all the time. I mean, you know,
is there anything else to talk?
No, I pretty much people ask what I do. I classify myself as a principled veterinarian. Because we practice according to the 33 principles of chiropractic. We don't practice veterinary medicine like anybody else does. But we've had a Boston Terrier in here one day, and was working on this Boston Terrier, and she wanted to know how long it was, you know, and I explained to her that Boston Terriers have a form of spina bifida. We have selected for spina bifida, just like Manx cats, some of the dogs that have not natural tail docking, okay, that are born with no tail. We've selected those dogs, and that is a form of spina bifida. I said, the dog will do fine. We're just going to have to adjust more frequently, but it will do fine. And Grandma was sitting there. We have a lot of families come in, as you can tell, but Grandma was sitting over there, and she just got really quiet. And she says, this spina bifida thing, what do you mean? Talk more about the spina bifida thing. Well, she had a granddaughter that was 5 years old that had been told she would never walk. And I said, well, we see one dog that has no sacrum. And thankfully, the owner had more faith in chiropractic at that time than I did.
Yeah.
And I palpated this dog, and I was like, we need to take x-rays, but I don't have a way to do it here because I saw this lady at a park. And she's like, no, just adjust the atlas, Dr. O, we'll be fine. And I'm like, but I think there's something missing. And she goes, well, just adjust the atlas, and then next week we can take x-rays. So next week, the dog came in walking. It was paralyzed. One adjustment. It was walking. I palpated it. There's still something missing. I'm like, man, we need to take x-rays. And she goes, I suppose, what's that going to cost? I said, if they're normal, nothing. And she said, okay. We took the x-rays. This dog had no sacrum.
Wow.
It has lived 8 years walking with no sacrum. It goes upstairs with no sacrum. The only problem that it has, and it's not a problem for the people that have it, it has no bladder control. Because the pudendal nerve has some issues back there that I can't find. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it didn't even form, because at what point did that quit? You know?
Right.
So she can't feel around the external orifices. And so she has an issue. So the dog wears a diaper. Perfectly fine with the owner. She doesn't have a problem changing diapers.
Yep.
And yeah, go ahead.
And that just, again, whether we have somebody, a human, come in, I'll say, well, because of this accident or because of this whatever, on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe a 7 or 8 is the best you're going to be. So why be a 6? Why be a 5? Why be a 4? And that's just, again, the same thing with the principles of the principles of the principles. So with that dog, okay, it's not the dog's fault it didn't form a sacrum, right? So our job is not to treat, or it's to say, listen, there's a subluxation there. We're going to remove that interference, and whatever happens is between God and that animal. This is really none of our business, right? And we just want to keep that interference talking. And so that's what you're doing. That dog has a much better quality of life because its nerve system is staying clear than no matter what. And that's just what you're doing. That's so wonderful. That's just good. Yep.
And it doesn't matter. I mean, I know people all the time say, oh, chiropractic isn't safe. Chiropractic is this. Man, chiropractic is the safest. I mean, I thought I was having a heart attack 15 years ago. I weighed 100 pounds more than I do right now, going through a stressful divorce. And thought I was going to go to my cardiologist and walk in and say, hey, check me out. Because he had a dachshund, and he'd just call me up and say, hey, Oscar's got an issue. Can you stop by and check him? And I would, So I just was going to walk in and say, hey, I got an issue. Out. But my chiropractor's office was on the way, so I stopped. And he luckily, he had just had a cancellation. He walked out and he says, hey, I got time. What's up? And I said, oh, same old, same old. I didn't tell him because I was either subconsciously didn't want to tell him or knew better, whatever. At the time, I didn't really think about anything about it, but I laid down, got adjusted. He rolled me over, adjusted my first rib. And I stood up and I started looking at my arm, and he said, are you all right? I said, yeah, I'm okay. Had some tingling in my left arm all day, but it's gone. Don't worry about it. He said, what? I said, well, yeah, I thought I was having a heart attack, but you took care of it. Don't worry about it. I think it's good. And he was like, and he was like, sit down. And anyway, we went through that whole thing. And since then I did a bunch of research, and my chances of dying from that chiropractic adjustment were 1 in a million.
Yeah.
If I had gone to the cardiologist and he'd ordered a stress test, which we know he would have, my chances of dying were 1 in 1,000.
Yep.
If I made it through the stress test, then we'd have done the angiocath. And my chances of dying from that are 1 in 2,500.
Yep.
But thank goodness I went to my chiropractor, didn't tell him not to adjust me.
Yeah.
And he adjusted me, and all my symptoms of a heart attack went away. Because my symptoms of a heart attack were actually symptoms of my vagus not working correctly.
Right.
My heart not communicating with my brain appropriately. and a problem with my sympathetic parasympathetic nervous system balance.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. The symptom is not the problem. The symptom is a warning sign. No different if you're driving your car and the oil light goes off. You know, you don't want them to keep checking the dipstick. You want them to go grab a can of oil and put it in the engine. And anything other than that, you know, don't do a stress test on the car. Don't do all the other, you know, exams. Just grab a can of oil and put it in the right, you know, and then recheck and, oh, it went off, right? Is that a miracle? No, that's how it's supposed to function, right? And so when he adjusted you, he restored healing. Then you lost the weight, you de-stressed your life, you shut off the warning light, and now there's no reason for that to come back. So it wasn't a heart issue. Your heart was simply saying, hey, you're not good. I'm not happy with you right now. You need to make some changes here. Yeah.
And if I hadn't turned right to the chiropractor and gone left to the cardiologist,
who knows
where we would be. And so when we talk to people, whether it's with their animal or their human, you know, who should be the gatekeeper for health?
Exactly. Principal doctor.
Principal chiropractor that's not afraid to adjust. Now, here's the thing. If I hadn't got better, would I have gone to the cardiologist? You bet.
Yeah.
And if somebody walked into your clinic and said, I think I'm having a heart attack, but I'd like to get adjusted first, you would assess them, adjust them, maybe call 911 for them if the chiropractic adjustment didn't work.
Yeah, we've done that. They're already on the way to the emergency room. And I'm like, on your way down, stop by. Let me check you because you're always going to do better. You know, no matter what happens with a clear nerve system. And we've done that. We have that videotaped. Actually, a girl had palpitations from side effects of the vaccine, the Gardasil shot, right?
Yeah.
And her heart would just freak out. And they go down. I said, well, so this wasn't the first time it was freaking out, but I said, well, on the way down, once you stop by, let me adjust you. And boom, like you said, things changed. By the time they got there, she was fine. They tested her. They said, well, we can't find anything wrong here. And she walked in the clinic the next day. I carried her in that day, adjusted her. Then mom took her back in the car, took her there. By the time she was functioning, walking around. We got it documented on YouTube. So it's one of our videos on our SpineGeek channel. But yeah, it's crazy. Look under Ashley and Gardasil shot. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad it was you and it kept you around another 15 years.
Well, I'm strong
and healing. Yeah.
Wouldn't have got to meet you.
That's right.
So, anyway, well, thank you for everybody for attending today. And remember, if you're in the Denver area or anywhere in the world and need to get an adjustment, go ahead and go to SpineGeek. And if you're looking for an animal chiropractor near you, contact us. Remember, the body heals one way and one way only, above, down, inside out. Keep those atlases adjusted.
If you are or know a veterinarian or chiropractor, or a student of either of these professions, visit our website, Animal Chiropractic Education Source, to see how to become certified in animal chiropractic. Start improving the lives of the animals around you. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to the ACES channels so that you never miss an exciting episode.